I'm going to make it a personal mission on this show to stop allowing people to conflate stuff and convolute issues and confuse it. Nobody's disrespected Mike Tomlin as a coach. Nobody's disrespected him as a man. To know anything about him is not only to respect him, it's damn near to revere him. Yeah. Mike Tomlin is celebrated. And how do we know this? Because people, it's grating, Schefter. It's grating, RC. It hurts to have to be critical of somebody that you believe in so much, that you know is great on so many levels in terms of motivation, in terms of just upliftment, in terms of so many different things that contribute not just to the football player, but the man. We revered this man. What we're saying is the Pittsburgh Steelers haven't won a playoff game since 2016. Forget the fact that they haven't won a Super Bowl since 2008. Forget the fact that they lost in the Super Bowl in 2010. Yeah. That stuff happens. But when you are tied with the 49ers for having the most Super Bowl championships of any NFL franchise in history, and on your docket is that you haven't won a playoff game since 2016, that is not disrespectful. That's just stating facts. I think that they're going to have a successful season. I believe in Aaron Rodgers still. I damn sure believe in Mike T. I think this is the first time in 5 or 6 years the man has actually had a quarterback. Okay, because I still believe in Aaron Rodgers. But it doesn't negate the fact that I'm going to sit here, if they go through another season and they don't win a playoff game, I'm going to sit up here and ask a very uncomfortable question. And that uncomfortable question is, no matter what we believe and feel genuinely from our hearts about Mike Tomlin, is another coach who hasn't won a playoff game in a decade still at that same job? We're going to ask that question.
Well, there's also not going to be a coach who's never had a losing record in that time either, right? Like, we are in uncharted territory with Mike Tomlin, a coach that's entering his 19th season, a coach that's never had a losing season. So it's not about can you prepare. It's not about can you motivate. It's not about can you get this team ready, can you get them to believe. It's going to be about how you execute. And I'm going to make a guarantee here today. If Aaron Rodgers is healthy this season, if Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback headed into the playoffs this season for the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win a playoff game. There's a difference between what we're hearing from Aaron Rodgers and both Mike Tomlin than anything we've heard from them before. There's a certainty in their tone, right? There's an understanding. There's a level of respect that says, I not only believe in me, but I believe in him, that makes us believe in us. And the thing that this year is about, it's about testing what General Manager Omar Khan has done around the quarterback position. Have we made this team good enough around the quarterback position where number 8 can just do what number 8 needs to do in important moments of the games and get us wins? That's what this season is about. We don't need to see Aaron Rodgers that won MVPs. We need to see the Aaron Rodgers that in the time where you need to be stand up, where you need to be a dude that's experienced this, where you need to be a guy that's been there and done that. And in my estimation, the best thrower of a football that has ever lived. Can you still do that? And I believe he can. And if Aaron Rodgers does, this team wins a playoff game this year.
This season has been about the Pittsburgh Steelers doing un-Steeler-like things. There's never been an offseason like the one in which the Pittsburgh Steelers have, where they went out and got a decorated quarterback, a decorated wide receiver, added to their running back room in the draft, added another tight end. There's never been a team that's been that active in Pittsburgh with all these trades. And that stems from the fact that the Steelers had lost their last 6 playoff games. And Stephen A., you can be a great coach in this league. And nobody is disputing that Mike Tomlin isn't a great coach. He is. But you can be a great coach, and you have to have a great quarterback to win consistently, or you're not going to. Just look at Andy Reid in Philadelphia. He was a great coach. It had gotten stale.
Yep.
They fired him. He went to Kansas City, got a great quarterback. Now Andy Reid is regarded as one of the greatest coaches of all time.
Yep.
John Harbaugh, Sean McDermott, great coaches with great quarterbacks. Have a chance every year. Mike Tomlin hasn't had that since Ben Roethlisberger has been there. Now they're getting a guy who's 41, who turns 42 this year. The history of quarterbacks in their 40s who have performed and performed well is not all that great. There's been Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Warren Moon, and now Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady is the only one who's won a playoff game at 42 or above. So now the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers are trying to do something that has not been all that common in the past. But they knew they had to try something different because what they were doing wasn't working.
The other thing is, too, though, Stephen, you heard those names that Adam mentioned, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Warren Moon. If you add Aaron Rodgers' names to that list, it fits. It's not like saying Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback who's out of the realm of talent, experience, and accomplishment of those guys.
Well, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and nearly 4,000 yards passing last year. So that speaks for itself because that was termed to be a bad year for Aaron Rodgers. That just speaks to his level of greatness and the expectations that have been heaped on his shoulders. Number two, I said the Steelers and the 49ers. I meant the Steelers and the Patriots. I know 49ers have 5. The Patriots have 6 Super Bowls. So it's the Steelers and the Patriots. But the thing that I want to close by saying is this. RC, listen, to be in a room, and you know this man, he's a personal friend of yours. Mike T's a special, special man and a special, special coach. I don't ever want to see him gone from Pittsburgh. Let's be very, very clear about that. But when we're talking about winning, you know what we have to take into consideration? What we say about everybody who ain't Mike Tomlin. If this is another coach at another franchise and you haven't won a playoff game since 2016 and you've lost your last 6 playoff games, you're going to at least say, yo, what's up? Now, that doesn't mean you're showing them the pink slip, because obviously it's going to be hard to get somebody better. But the competition is competition. He even said the standard is the standard. It doesn't change. And when you haven't met the standard, people do have, I don't want to see him gone, but that doesn't mean that a Pittsburgh Steelers fan doesn't have the right to say, yo, what's up? And when Aaron Rodgers, who just got there, you know, who's a puppy as a Steeler, as old as he is, he's a puppy as a Steeler. You just got there. And you're talking about disrespect. It's not disrespectful to say, yo, we're the Steelers, and we can't even win a playoff game in the last decade. When you look at his poise, his accuracy, the dual threat that he is in terms of his mobility, the fact that they've now acquired Deebo Samuels, obviously they've improved their offensive line as well. You got to make sure you get McLaurin re-upped and make sure he's there for you. All of those things taken into consideration, along with the profile that he's going to bring to himself, because he's in an NFC division with the Dallas Cowboys and also with the reigning defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. The spotlight is going to be on him. And if he performs, obviously that's going to curry favor, which is going to curry votes, which would put him in a position to challenge for a league MVP award.
RC?
Yeah, I mean, think about this, right? When Kanye West dropped College Dropout, we couldn't wait for late registration, and it ended up being a better album, right? That's what we have to expect from Jayden Daniels. And yes, the expectations are difficult. Think about the high expectations we had for C.J. Stroud coming off of an amazing rookie year. We watched that team, the Houston Texans, and protection was an issue the entire year. He couldn't be or reach the same level of success, the same level of progress. And so now for Jayden Daniels, Adam Peters says, we're not going to allow that to happen. We're going to go out, we're going to add Deebo Samuel. We're going to go out, we're going to draft the right tackle. We're going to bring in Laramie Tunsil, because they understand who they have in their young quarterback, and they are trying to capitalize on having a great quarterback on a rookie contract. So I expect Jayden Daniels to play well. They went out and added pieces on this defense because they understand it's time to compete right now. He was ahead of schedule last year. I believe he snuck up on some people, as did this team. They will not do that this year.
Won't surprise anybody. And a major question now about whether or not Terry McLaurin is going to be there. So you've been able to go out and make all these contractual moves and acquire all these players, but a key player right now they have a dispute going on with. And just like we talked about with Micah Parsons, there's no solution in sight with Terry McLaurin right now. They're in a situation where Terry McLaurin is going to argue that he should be one of the highest paid wide receivers in the game. He's produced like it. The prices of wide receivers has gone up. He can say that I was in the same draft class as DK Metcalf. My stats are better than DK Metcalf's. He's 2 years younger. My numbers are better. He got $33 million a year from the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Commanders aren't there. The Commanders are going to say, hey, you've gotten 2 other contracts. This is your 3rd contract. You're going to be 30 years old. We saw this week Cortland Sutton sign for $24 million. Mike Evans signed for $24 million. Is it DK Metcalf north of 33? Is it one of those deals? Terry McLaurin's not going to sign for that. And right now, again, they're stuck. They're stuck in a spot where there's no obvious solution. If it was so obvious for a player as talented and popular as Terry McLaurin, it would be done by now.
Yeah.
And it's not. And he's not practicing.
Stephen A?
And they need him.
It's not done. It's not done yet. That's not a good thing. But I think the presence of Jayden Daniels helps him immensely because you want to do what you can to protect your most valuable asset, the face of the franchise. And obviously, this is a veteran receiver that he played with last year that helped him immensely. So that goes a long way. The other thing we got to pay attention to in terms of what may assist Jayden Daniels, along with Deebo Samuel's arrival, is the fact that you're the Commanders. You brought back both primary tight ends in Zach Ertz and John Bates. You got to remember, Ertz, he had his career revived last year with about 66 catches or what have you. So that goes a long way. That's a reliable weapon. And in Bates, you got a cat that's a blocking specialist. So I look at all of those things, and I just say to myself, the things that they've been doing says, we know who we have in Jayden Daniels. We know what he means to this franchise. We know what he means to the future of this franchise. Let's make sure we do what we can to take care of him. And I think McLaurin falls in that category. It's not going to get him maybe the money that he wants, but it's certainly not going to be something that's insulting to him that makes him say, oh, my God, I can't play this year. I can't play for this team. I think that somewhere in the middle, they'll find a way to reach an accord.
But I think that's the thing, though, right? It can't be in the middle of 24 and 33 right. to Terry McLaurin. That's not something I believe that Terry McLaurin is going to accept. And here's why, right, Stephen A. When guys don't play well in their contract years, when guys don't have that year that makes you feel like they are continuing to get better, continuing to contribute to winning for your team, then the contract reflects that. They say, wait, we can't pay you what DK Metcalf got because your statistics aren't the same. Your impact aren't the same. You can't have that conversation with Terry McLaurin. And like you said also, Stephen A., it's not just what he was able to do. It's the fact that what he is able to do is exactly what Jayden Daniels is good at doing, which is throw the deep ball. Terry McLaurin stretches the defense. There was play after play after play where on the receiving end of a great Jayden Daniels deep ball pass was Terry McLaurin. You don't want to allow, or you don't want it to be a situation where missing a player allows or makes your superstar young quarterback take a step back. You want to see him take the next step and become a top-tier quarterback. The executives and the coaches on Jeremy Fowler's list voted Jayden Daniels 5th, which was number 1 in the NFC and only behind Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson. Terry McLaurin was a huge piece of that. And if I'm his agent, I'm standing on the table time after time after time in every conversation, reminding Dan Quinn and reminding Adam Peters of that exact thing.
Stand on your business, huh?
On that business,
I get it. I understand it. Listen. That's an excellent soliloquy that you put out there, and you didn't tell a lie. The brother can ball. Nobody's calling him a scrub. The brother can ball. He can play. Yeah. He deserves his bag. But when we talk about his bag, let's understand that when we're talking about a Justin Jefferson, when we're talking about a Jamar Chase and cats like that, it's a different level. And it's not to say that he's asking for that. CeeDee Lamb, you can throw him in there. It's not to say that he's asking for that, but he wants numbers in the ballpark. Yeah, and what I'm saying is if they get in the ballpark, he can't, just summarily dismiss that. Listen, you can't be arguing over 33 or 34 million if they put 32 on the table.
They're not there.
That's basically
they're not there, Stephen.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
They're not there. That's the problem. They're not there. Right? So if they're not there, there's nothing to talk about, and that's where they've been.
Right.
There's a lot of ground to make up and cover here.